Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. It's Josh, and I got some more thoughts that I'm going to share with you guys. I'm kind of treating this, I guess, it's like a journal, like a video journal, I guess. The only difference is that most people journal, keep it to themselves, and I want to share it with the world. Well, anybody who will listen anyway. So, something I was thinking about this morning as I was getting ready and heading into work is the Dread Pirate Roberts. For those of you who have seen the movie, The Princess Bride, this name should be something that you're familiar with. If, however, you haven't seen the movie, The Princess Bride, number one, I highly recommend that you watch the movie Princess Bride, because it is a truly just all-around funny movie. Just a great movie. But if you haven't watched the movie and you hear me talking about the Dread Pirate Roberts, I don't think what I'm going to say will ruin the movie for you. And if you have seen it, then you'll understand the reference. So, what I was thinking about is, and I actually proposed this idea to a friend of mine who is rather spiritual, and he immediately shot the idea down. But that's it's your right. Right? If you don't want to think about it, then don't want to ponder the possibilities, then that's your right. But for those of you who may want to ponder your possibilities, here we go. As I was thinking about the Dread Pirate Roberts from the movie Princess Bride, I thought about, well, who was the Dread Pirate Roberts? And what we learn in the movie is that he was many people over the years. That there were many people that held the mantle of Dread Pirate Roberts, almost like a title, if you will. So, if that's the case, could the same be held or said of God? Big G, little g, whatever you want to say. Could in fact God be more or less a title that's held by multiple, we'll say individuals throughout time? For me, I immediately think of, kind of along the ancient aliens thing and stuff. What if God is an alien? Then maybe it would make sense that there would be multiple, kind of, like a line of succession down to the whoever is serving in that role today. Or it could be that if there truly is a godlike race of beings out there, that that just multiple of them have held the title of God. And so, I don't say all this to refute your belief system. I'm just throwing an idea out there, throwing a thought out there. Want to get people talking about it, because and this is a hard sticking point for me. It's to steal a line from, or to borrow, let's say, a line from, because I'm going to give it credit, the movie The Matrix, the third item in the trilogy. I think it was Matrix Revolutions or something. I don't know, whatever, the third Matrix movie. At the end, where Neo is fighting. Real quick, spoiler alert! If you haven't seen the third Matrix movie, I'm getting ready to kind of give you a hint. So, anyways, at the end of the movie, Neo is fighting Mr. Smith, and the like Mr. Smith is like knocked Neo down, and he's like, I'm standing here, and I say to you, blah blah blah, and then Neo responds with, everything that has a beginning has an end. And that's a very logical statement, and I am a student of logic, and so that resonates with me. So I think, based on our understanding of our world, that holds true. The end may be long, between the beginning and the end, but everything that has a beginning has an end. And so if I take that logical statement as a truth, then I have to say then that God, big G, little g, whatever, has a beginning and therefore has an end. And so again, if I stick with the idea that God is a title held by many individuals over time, and I stick with the idea that everything that has a beginning has an end, then the idea of God still holds true, because the individuals who have played the role of God, the title of God, have had beginnings and ends, but the title of God has continued, much like a king of whatever place, or the president. It's a title, it's a position that's held, and the people who hold the position change over time, but the ultimate position and responsibilities remain the same. So, as myself, as an individual who is very science-based and is very thought-based, and has the drive, I guess is the right word, to question everything. Everything has to be questioned. Even things that we currently hold and know to be true, in my mind, have to be questioned, because we know them and hold them to be true today, that we may disprove them in the future. So they have to be questioned. Once upon a time, people held it to be true that the world was flat. That was disproven. Once upon a time, people held it to be true that the earth was the center of the universe. That has been disproven. So all of our notions of laws of physics and laws of nature, and all, even though we hold them to be true today, might one day be disproven. So, because that is the mindset that I come from, it is very, very difficult for me to have faith that some supreme being has my best interest in mind, or the best interest of the human race in mind. I'm a very positive thinking individual, so the power of positive thought. And if we as a people can come together and have the power of positive thought, we can affect change in our own world. But there is a large contingent of people who have the unknown frightens them. Instead of running towards the unknown, they run away from it. And they use God to help explain the unknown, to hide it, I don't know what that means, I can't understand, I can't comprehend. God made it that way. God intended it to be that way. So, sorry for all the fuzziness and some bumps there. So, rather than going down the route of saying, in order to move forward as a people, you have to abandon God, will happen if we make that statement, if we say we're at a point in our lives where religion, where God is no longer needed, that large contingent of people will they just won't be able to comprehend. No, you're wrong. We always need God. God is the way, the truth, and the light, so on and so forth. So instead of saying we don't need God or God does not exist, instead I propose that we think about, is there a way that God can exist, that you can have that safety net, but also acknowledge that it's okay to question, and it's okay to seek the answers to the questions that previously would have been given the answer of God designed it this way, or whatever the case may be. So, I kind of started with the idea that God is a mantle. It's been held by multiple or many individuals across the span of time. I think that this gives the ability to do that, because if you accept the possibility that God, the title, is forever, then, and that the role of God could be played by multiple individuals within some race or being, people, then I think you can entertain the idea that maybe there are other truths that you've accepted as designed by God that may have different starting points or origins. So yeah, that's I don't know. Like I said, this is just something I was thinking about this morning. I guess I've been thinking about it for a few weeks now, but wanted to put it into thought. So, I don't some of my other videos I kind of leave off with like a 3-step process or the steps we need to take to move on. I don't have anything. The only, I guess, what they call is a call to action. The only call to action that I have is to not be afraid to question. It's okay to question. It's okay to push the veil and see what you find. So, thanks.